stop this cantata. Abusia we and some Kwesi Pratt Jr. atoto ediamani Reverend Ntim Fordjour. Yeni nebeka last week in one this MPI friend Reverend Ntim Fordjour. Edin sembi to just say some air med plane bi aba Kotoka International Airport a cocaine guma a transit from Ghana at the Kwabuchi. Now this Reverend Ntim Fordjour nature the street value of the cocaine $350 million. That's it, and some way obeka. But in some way beka and Felix of Osukwachi the communication officer the presidency. Any video the Bible say or evidence on family even Felix to just say ultimate evidence about or no Felix of Osukwachi or be resigning as the communication director the presidency. Be seen went to me and farmer no and Kwesi Pratt Jr. Echo on the show so Pan-African TV and what catch Reverend Ntim Fordjour said when I saw Cantata now now this allegation or the other to like a baby a baseless a senseless only evidence omra no ome pacho na means of yamren we got in Kwesi Pratt Jr. Edituja and the way I want to be at the money Reverend Ntim Fordjour momenti mumianhwe.
This matter is so simple and straightforward that I'm wondering why it has taken all this time to resolve. This guy, Honorable John Ntim Fordjour, holds a press conference and he claims that he's speaking for the minority. His claim, first claim, is that he's speaking for the minority. Makes all manner of allegations, serious allegations against the state. And then, in a twinkle of an eye, he's no longer speaking for the minority, but is speaking for a committee of parliament. When the committee of parliament says, no, you are not speaking for us, you don't have a mandate to speak for us, he reverts and says, I'm speaking for the minority again. What is this? He makes allegations at a press conference. The President of the Republic does not order his arrest. The President calls on him to collaborate with security agencies to unearth the truth. It's not an order for arrest. President, he says, go and cooperate with the security agencies. I've asked the security agencies to give you every assistance you can get in order to verify the allegations that we are making. He says, I won't go. I won't cooperate with the security agencies. Can you believe this? In the first instance, the president says, no, it's not arrest, nothing. Just go and cooperate with the security agencies. Become part of the security establishment in order to establish the facts, the truth. He says, I won't do it. Now listen, it is the responsibility of every citizen when crime is committed or when there's a suspicion of crime, good citizens report to the security agencies to take action. Now this morning, I see on the front page of the Chronicle, and now he's called Osofu Tanda, whatever that means, declares, I stand by the truth. What is the truth? The guy says that he's acting on the basis of a hunch, of a suspicion. Now that suspicion has turned to truth. When the suspicion becomes truth, I mean, incredible. And members of parliament are following this man. Members of parliament, honorable members of parliament, are following this man. This man you know, Master, sometimes you have to put the brakes. Otherwise, you would say things and use words which can become very devastating. This man who says that, oh, I have a hunch. The whole nation should come to a standstill because I have a hunch. I have a hunch, that's all. Now he says he stands by the truth. Which truth? And then sometimes he says, I have the facts, but I won't disclose them. You have facts that Ghana has become or is becoming a hub for money laundering and illicit drugs, and you are keeping the facts, and you are a responsible citizen. You are an honorable member of parliament. I can't believe it. Now listen, in which country in the world will anybody be allowed to behave the way this gentleman is behaving? Tell me one country in the world. The United States of America, Russia, Britain, Germany, Jamaica. Where will this happen? Where will any citizen boldly hold a press conference alleging that his country has become a hub for illicit drugs and money laundering, and say that I won't provide the evidence, I won't collaborate with the security services, and keep jumping from station to station, from newspaper to newspaper, and the state will just sit down and clap for him? Why in the world will this happen? Let's be serious. Why in the world will this happen? This honorable gentleman, and that is what we are supposed to call him, honorable gentleman, has posed questions that he wants details. Master, I'm in full agreement with Honorable Inusa Hussein that you sitting on my right here stand out, and you really stand out. You've had an impeccable record as a member of parliament and as a public communicator. Please hold it. Hold that. Don't surrender that to fools and idiots. You have a responsibility to yourself to keep your image, your public image. Now, listen to me very, very, very carefully. Listen to me very, very carefully. This honorable member of parliament, and that is what we are supposed to call him, this honorable member of parliament, makes all these allegations, and then he comes and says, the facts must be provided. What facts? The government, central government, has given the identity of the two aircrafts which came into this country. The identity has been given. They have provided evidence of the clearance they sought to land in Ghana. They have provided information on the cargo on board. They have provided detailed information on customs inspection. They have provided analysis of the facts and so on. And you are still calling for facts. They should make the facts. What facts? Tell me what facts have not been made available. What facts have not been made available? You see, I think we should be honest with ourselves and stop this cantata. This cantata is not in the national interest. You are describing your own country as a banana republic, a failed state in which narco trade and money laundering has taken over. And you think it's a light matter. You should be allowed to go to your chop bar and eat your whatever, and go home and sleep soundly and wake up the next morning and continue peddling what the Ghana Airports Authority has described as falsehood. I hope you saw the statement which was issued by the Ghana Airports Authority. The signatory to the statement is not a member of the National Democratic Congress. Is not an appointee of the Mahama administration. The signatory to the statement is an appointee of the Akufo-Addo administration and describes the allegations being made by Honorable Ntim Fordjour as false. False accusations. Why are people taking us on this ride? What have we done to you to treat Ghanaians this way? What crime have Ghanaians committed for you to play with our destiny in this reckless manner? I can't believe it. This is just absolute recklessness. And this thing that members of parliament cannot be arrested without the permission of the Speaker of Parliament. Let's do interpretation by extension and see whether it has any legs to stand on. So as we sit here, I know that this honorable gentleman is indeed an honorable gentleman and he would not do that, but he's a member of parliament. Just imagine that as we sit here, he engages in an illegal act which has the potential of threatening the security of the studio and the people in the studio. He will not be arrested until the Speaker has given approval. What nonsense is that?
It's not there. It's not there in the law.
How?
It's not there.
You see somebody committing a criminal act, an act which is injurious to the reputation and stature of the country, and he would not be arrested because the Speaker has not given approval. Yes, there's that understanding that if members of parliament are needed for interrogation or questioning and so on, a certain procedure should be followed. But there are exceptions to that rule. And I want anybody to tell me that there are no exceptions to that rule. There are exceptions to that rule. I'm horrified by this behavior. So, look, let us assume that in the next 35 years or so, the NPP comes back to power. Would the NPP tolerate a situation where a CPP member of parliament or an LGP member of parliament says that the government is corrupt and that the president has stolen money and so on, and refuse to provide any further details? Is that acceptable? Would that be acceptable? And if it will not be acceptable to the NPP, why is it why do you think that should be acceptable to Ghanaians and to the current administration? What behavior is this? What kind of behavior is this? I can't believe it. What kind of behavior is this? And then they gather and they sing also. Can you imagine members of parliament describing themselves as the 88th Infantry Battalion? What? Members of parliament. Yeah. They gather and they say that they are the 88th Infantry Battalion. How does that fit into their conception of their role as members of parliament? 88th Infantry Battalion. The mighty 88 and so on. What is this joke? Members of parliament should seriously reflect on their roles as citizens of the country and the privileges we are according them, and stop these jokes. 88th Infantry Battalion. When I heard it, Master, I couldn't believe it. That this could come out of the mouth of a parliamentarian. Now, let me tell you something. I'm going to tell you something. You see, Mr. Albert Kandapa has been a friend of mine for many years. Not today, many years. Many years. I regard him as one of the best security bosses that this country has ever had. Do you know why he succeeded? At a time when the government was so unpopular, as reflected in the results of the elections of 2024, he managed to keep the peace of this country. You know why he succeeded? He succeeded because he was respected by everybody, by opposition elements and so on. So when things were going wrong, people felt easy to communicate with him. And Alhaji Yunus Afuseni has given us an instance when he had information which could lead to something which was detrimental to a national interest. And he called him and had a discussion with him. I've heard Mr. Kandapa, he told me directly that until he became head of national security, he did not know that Lieutenant Colonel Bebrelate was such a national patriot.
Yes.
Why would he make such a claim? Why would he make such a claim? So it is clear that during the NPP administration, when it comes to matters of national security and so on, opposition elements were not in a hurry to use it to their advantage. Their instinct was to help the security to unravel the facts and to deal with the situation. Why are we not getting the same treatment now? I am completely disgusted by what is happening. And now they've created a situation where even decent people amongst them cannot maintain their decency. They have to toe the line or be seen as traitors.
Yes.
So everybody is jumping on the bandwagon. Yeah. That situation should not be allowed to persist. There are so many decent people in the NPP. Why? If you look at the founding members of the NPP, it includes distinguished citizens like Kwame Pratt. You understand? Kwame Pratt, distinguished citizen, statesman, and so on. So many distinguished people in there, Hakman Owusu-Agyemang, and so on. I can mention names. Even the immediate past leader of the NPP in Parliament, Mensa Bonsu, decent fellow, and so on. Now all of them have gone into hiding for these latter day honorables and so on to behave as 88th Infantry Battalion.